You may think that Ben Simmons is by far the best player in the 2016 NBA draft, but that might not be so true. What's up, guys? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Gaming, and today we're going to be talking about Jaylen Brown. Now, I'm not saying Jaylen Brown's better than Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has so far looked really good in his debut and has looked really good in the preseason. I'm not saying Ben Simmons is not the best. I'm just saying it's not certain that he's the best. So today we're going to be talking about Jaylen Brown. If you guys want more videos like this, make sure to tell me in the comment section below. And without further ado, let's talk about Jaylen Brown. So, last year Jaylen Brown was raw. He was only 19, 20 years old. And he was on an extremely talented team. A team that was the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference with good wings like Jay Crowder, Marcus Smart, if you would count Marcus Smart as a wing, and some other good wings. Most notably Jay Crowder. But Jaylen Brown did not get all the most minutes in the world. I'm going to guess like 17, 18. I'm going to check right now. I was pretty right on, 17.2. And in those 17.2 minutes, he shot 45% of the field, 34% from 3, 6.6 points, 2.8 rebounds, and how many assists? Not a lot, 0.8. Yeah, he was very raw, and right now he's only 20 years old. He just turned 20. Or no, he's not. He did not just turn 20. What's today? Today's the 20th. He turns 21 on the 24th. So on the 24th, which is Tuesday, he can legally drink. So he spent pretty much all of last season playing as a 20-year-old. And there's like grown men in this NBA. So obviously he's still gonna be very raw. Almost 7 points is not like insane, but like it's not like bad because it's not like he did that in 48 minutes. And Jaylen Brown's points went from 6.6 to 7. Now, this may not seem like a lot. He played 78 games last year, and he put up 6.6. But already in 2 games, the jump goes up from 6.6 to 7. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but mathematically it is. Jaylen Brown, NBA term kind of, I feel like went from a boy last year to a man. Now, that makes no sense. But the way he's dominating this year, he looks like a superstar. Now, I did put him third on my big board for the 2016 NBA draft, but I put Brandon Ingram ahead of Ben Simmons, so what do I know? And what has Jaylen Brown done so far this season? Well, I was scrolling the other day through his career high totals as a rookie, and it was 20 points. The season opener of his second season, he already got 25. How does this happen? I have no clue. Or do I? Jaylen Brown grew a lot this offseason. I'm not saying in height, but he got much better. 25 and 18 against the Bucks ain't a fluke, especially considering the Cavs starting small forward was LeBron James and the Bucks was Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, I'm assuming LeBron and Giannis mostly guarded Kyrie, but Jaylen Brown's put out, I think, more points than Kyrie, so clearly, there's something going on, and teams need to be paying attention to Jaylen Brown. So, obviously, Gordon Hayward got hurt. Opening game, which obviously very sad. He's probably going to be out for the year. Probably going to affect his career. And the Celtics have two young small forwards, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum's a rookie, and Jaylen Brown's entering his second year. So, they're both very raw. I would choose Brown over Tatum for this year, probably, because, like, Brown's been in the league for a year, Tatum hasn't. But Jaylen Brown has a ceiling of something very high. I'm going to say, let's look at Paul George's stats. Let's look at Kawhi Leonard's stats. Let's look at some of their stats and see how they compare to Jaylen Brown. I'm going to be comparing, sorry about the motorcycle or whatever that is in the background, but we have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, two of the NBA's best small forwards. I'm not using the Snake and LeBron because they each put up like 20 points a game as a rookie. But we have probably the next two best small forwards, Kawhi Leonard and and Paul George. And we're going to compare their rookie stats to Jaylen Brown's. So if we look at field goal, Kawhi's definitely have the highest at almost 50%. But Paul George and Jaylen Brown's were almost identical, with Jaylen Brown's being at 4.54 and Paul George's being at 4.53. So far, Jaylen Brown's on the right track. Looking at three-point percentage, that once again goes to Kawhi Leonard, but Jaylen Brown actually has the upper hand on Paul George. with Jaylen Brown at 0.341 and Paul George at around 30%, and Jaylen Brown at 34%. So Jaylen Brown, who's not a great shooter, has a higher 3-point percentage than Paul George, Paul George is a rookie. Paul George was not a great shooter as a rookie, but right now Paul George is a phenomenal shooter, as ever since his rookie year, he's put up almost 40% from 3. As his second year, 38.5%, 36.2, 36.4, 40.9, 37.1, 39.3, and we don't really want to count this year's so far because it's one game, but still after that, it kind of flew up, and Jaylen Brown's is currently at 333, but it's been 2 games, so you can't really count that. Free throw once again went to Kawhi Leonard, but if you look at Jaylen Brown and Paul George, it definitely goes to Paul George at 7.62, with Jaylen Brown at 6.85. And 6.85 for a rookie is definitely not too bad, as I said, considering he's not a great shooter. He's raw, he's athletic, so the score is 1-1 because the field goal percentage is basically identical. So now we're going to talk about rebounding and assisting, arguably the 2 most important stats after getting points. And Kawhi Leonard obviously leads in rebounds because he's Kawhi Leonard. And he also is tied for the lead in assists. Kawhi Leonard had a better rookie year than both Paul George and Jaylen Brown. So we're going to take out Kawhi Leonard, and we're going to focus on Paul George and how he compares to Jaylen Brown. So rebounds and assists both go to Paul George, with Paul George putting up 3.7 compared to Jaylen Brown's 2.8, and assisting Jaylen Brown at 0.8, and Paul George had 1.1. And Jaylen Brown has had better teammates, so the assisting is a little but he's a small forward. He's not LeBron or Giannis. He's not a he's not like a ball. He's not a point guard forward, a point forward, whatever you want to call it. So, like, Jaylen Brown's not like LeBron or Giannis by any means, so he does not have to be a great playmaker. On the defensive side of the floor, Paul George is one of the best defenders, or at least perimeter defenders, in the NBA, no doubt about it, with his offensive game. And as a rookie, he put up 0.4 blocks and 1 steal, which is better than Jaylen Brown. But Jaylen Brown's still raw in defense. I think he can become a good 3-and-D player and very athletic. Like, what's not to like about that? Is he put up 0.2 steals and 0.2 blocks and 0.4 steals, which is not insane, but we still have to remember he's a 20-year-old raw rookie. Paul George, he was a 20-year-old rookie as well, so this actually would make sense. Last but not least, points still goes to Paul George with 7.8 compared to Jaylen Brown's 6.6. So the only thing Jaylen Brown had better than Paul George was 3-point percentage, which is not great. Paul George had a better rookie year, but Paul George was a little older, Paul George played more minutes, and Paul George had less hungry mouths looking for food. What I mean by that is Jaylen Brown was on a 1 seed, so he had so many talented teammates that overshadowed him and have the ball much more. Even off the bench, players like Marcus Smart can't really shoot the ball, but players like Kelly Olynyk, for example, and Avery Bradley was a starter. I need to look at the Celtics bench so I can just compare. Just off the bench, they had players like Terry Rozier and Amir Johnson, who started a lot actually, and Kelly Olynyk, Gerald Green, Marcus Smart, who are all solid players. That's just their bench. And their starting lineup was Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, Amir Johnson, I'm kind of a liar, I guess, and Al Horford. And Jaylen Brown played 17 minutes a game, so he was probably in when some of the starters were in. So he didn't give the ball as much as all those other players, because all those players aren't really raw. All those players are better. Now, I'm not going to lie about that. But Jaylen Brown's a raw rookie. But I don't know if a rookie effect. I don't really know, but Jaylen Brown is not great yet. Or at least he wasn't great yet. But this year is different. After the Gordon Hayward injury, Jaylen Brown has stepped up. 25 points and 18 points isn't necessarily a fluke. And his stats as a rookie were very similar to Paul George. Most of them were just a little less than Paul George, but Paul George played more minutes and had a worse team. So if you think about it, Jaylen Brown might have done as good as Paul George. Paul George was a little older, which means Jaylen Brown's a little more raw. So essentially, putting all the pieces together, Jaylen Brown might honestly be the next Paul George. I'm not saying he will. I'm saying if you put all the pieces together, he might be the next Paul George. So that's the end of this video. Tell me if I should make more videos like this in the comments below. Sorry this one was a little sloppy. I don't know. So I'm out. Peace.